Cold outreach can be really challenging. Whether it's a phone call or an email, you know the importance of nailing the icebreaker. It can really change your cold outreach from being ignored to being engaging. So, if you're someone who sends a lot of cold emails or is doing a lot of cold calls, then stick around because today I'm going to address 5 key icebreakers that you can use to step up your outreach game. Let's get to it. Icebreaker 1 is the hyper personalized compliment. People love to be seen and appreciated. So start your message or your call with a super personalized compliment. The key here is the specificity. For example, let's say that you want to reach out to the VP of sales at one of your target accounts and you see on their LinkedIn that they have posted about this quarter being their most successful quarter ever. So when you reach out to them, you can say something along the lines of, "Hey, I noticed that your team had a great quarter and clearly you're doing something amazing out there." This way, you're able to grab their attention and the person immediately becomes more receptive to what you're going to say because they know that you've done your due diligence and homework. So spend 5 to 10 minutes researching your prospect before beginning any of your outreach efforts. Go through their LinkedIn profile, their company website, or perhaps a blog to find something super specific to compliment. It can really make a big difference. Icebreaker number 2 is referencing a mutual connection, and just doing this can instantly build trust and credibility. For example, when you call up your prospect, you tell them that, "Hey, I was speaking to so-and-so person and they told me that you're leading some really exciting changes at the company. I'd love to hear more about it." By associating yourself with a mutual connection, you immediately make your prospect more receptive to whatever you're going to say next. This happened with me a few weeks back when I was at a networking event and a colleague of mine connected me with somebody he knew. When I reached out to this person who was a prospective client, I immediately got a response because that level of trust had already been established. So before reaching out to your next prospect, quickly scan through their LinkedIn profile and see if you have any mutual connections. In case you don't have a direct connection, see if there's any adjacent aspect that you can use. For example, were you all at the same event recently, or are you a part of the same online group? Any such commonality can really help you in your outreach game. Icebreaker number 3 is the insightful question. People love talking about themselves, their work, and their challenges. And that's why asking an insightful question can be really powerful. For example, if you notice that your prospect's company is shifting from product-led growth to sales-led growth, then perhaps one good question that you can ask them is what prompted them to do this change and how they plan to onboard the new account executives and BDRs that they're currently recruiting. Questions like these show that you've done your homework and positions yourself as someone who understands their world. The key to making your question insightful is to avoid any generic topic and instead to be genuinely curious about the person's role or industry. So the next time you're going to reach out to a prospect, spend some time in understanding what are the key responsibilities of their person, what could be the potential challenges and pain points, and ask a really relevant question that the person would be willing to answer. Icebreaker number 4 is using data and recent trends. Sharing relevant statistics shows that you're knowledgeable and makes your outreach feel timely. There are plenty of resources online that can give you detailed report on various industry trends for the previous 6 months. Use this to your advantage when reaching out to a particular prospect. For example, if you find that their industry or sector has been growing exponentially for the past 6 months, but that their company has not, then you can use this in your opening email and suggest ways, tools, or your product which can help them reach these lofty goals. Additionally, if you find some reports about their competitors who have done some new R&D or are implementing new solutions, you can use these data points as well in your cold email or cold call. Typically, when you find some data points or statistics that you feel are relevant, try to translate them into revenue loss for your prospect, as this will really resonate with them and make them more open to listen to your solution. For example, if you're pitching an automation tool that saves time, then you can mention to your prospect how using your tool can save up to 15 hours worth of time of their sales reps, and that this 15 hours worth of time can translate to an X amount of revenue. Thus, you are able to make that link between the time saved and the revenue gained. The last icebreaker is the humorous or relatable icebreaker. And humor can be really tricky, but if you're able to nail it, you instantly capture the attention of any prospect. And if being funny is not your style, then starting with a relatable comment can have the same effect. Your prospects typically get a lot of cold emails and cold calls from salespeople just like you, maybe even from your competitors. By starting out with something funny or relatable, you make yourself instantly identifiable and difficult to forget in the minds of your prospect. Thus, when they're going to think of a cold call, they'll always remember that funny or witty comment that you started yours with, and this will make them more receptive to what you're going to pitch later down the line. So when you're reaching out to your prospect, see if there are any common pain points in the industry perhaps that you can position in a funny way to capture their attention. So here are 5 key icebreakers that you can use to step up your outreach game. And the secret is that you can often combine multiple ones together. For example, if you start off with a witty comment, it's easy for you to follow up with some statistics to back up what you mentioned previously. This way, similarly, you can also always start with a mutual reference, but ask an insightful question just after. These approaches are more human-like and position you as more knowledgeable, thoughtful, and genuinely curious in the success of your prospects. So I hope that you found this useful, and if you have another icebreaker that you have used in your cold approach, then drop it in the comments below as I would love to know more about it. As always, if you found this useful, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more videos coming your way. I'm Aviral and I'll see you next time.